In the construction industry, adding a just because or J/B or job profit or J/P markup at the end of an estimate is a common practice, particularly among less experienced estimators. This can be a way to cover unexpected expenses, ensure the job is profitable, or simply increase the overall bid amount. While how often this happens can change depending on the size and type of project, it is generally accepted that some level of J/B or J/P is needed to reduce risk and ensure a reasonable profit. The appropriate J/B or J/P markup percentage depends on several project factors, including project type and complexity. More complex projects typically require higher markups due to the increased potential for unforeseen issues and costs. Risk level is also a major factor. Projects with a higher potential for unforeseen costs or delays warrant higher markups. This accounts for the uncertainty and potential financial impact of unexpected events. Market conditions play a significant role. In competitive markets, contractors may need to lower their markups to win bids. This requires balancing profitability with the need to secure the project. The target profit margin is key. Estimators should consider their desired profit margin when determining the markup. This ensures that the project contributes to the overall financial goals of the company. While there is no industry standard for J/B or J/P markups, the following ranges are commonly used. For J/B markups, a range of 5 to 15% is typical. This is intended to cover general uncertainties and potential cost overruns. For J/P markups, a range of 10 to 25% is common. This reflects the desired profit margin for the project. Estimators should carefully consider the following when adding a J/B or J/P markup. Transparency is important. It is crucial to be transparent with clients about any markups included in the estimate. This builds trust and avoids potential disputes. Justification should be provided if possible. Provide a justification for the markup based on the factors discussed previously. This demonstrates that the markup is reasonable and justified by project circumstances. Competition needs to be kept in mind. Estimators should be aware of the markup practices of their competitors and adjust their own markups accordingly. This ensures that their bids remain competitive. Ethical considerations are paramount. While J/B or J/P markups are common, estimators should use them responsibly and avoid excessive markups that could lead to inflated bids. This maintains ethical standards and protects the interests of clients. In conclusion, adding a J/B or J/P markup to an estimate is a common practice in the construction industry. While the appropriate markup percentage varies depending on project-specific factors, it is generally accepted that a certain level of markup is necessary to mitigate risk and ensure profitability. Estimators should carefully consider the factors discussed previously when determining the appropriate markup for their estimates. This will lead to more accurate, competitive, and ethical bids. Let's delve into the specifics of each consideration to provide a more detailed understanding of how to approach J/B and J/P markups. When assessing project type and complexity, estimators should consider the following aspects. Firstly, the size of the project is a major factor. Larger projects typically involve more subcontractors, materials, and logistical challenges requiring a higher markup to account for potential coordination issues and delays. Secondly, the technical difficulty is important. Projects involving specialized equipment, techniques, or materials will necessitate a higher markup due to the increased risk of errors, rework, and the need for specialized expertise. Thirdly, the project schedule should be looked at. Tighter deadlines and accelerated schedules often lead to increased costs due to overtime, expedited material deliveries, and potential disruptions. The estimator should adjust the markup to reflect these added expenses. Fourthly, the location of the project can affect the markup. Projects in remote or difficult to access locations may incur higher transportation costs, logistical challenges, and potential delays, all of which should be factored into the markup. When evaluating risk level, consider these points. 1. The potential for unforeseen conditions is a primary risk factor. Projects involving excavation, demolition, or work in existing structures may encounter unexpected conditions such as contaminated soil, hidden utilities, or structural deficiencies. These unknowns can lead to significant cost overruns requiring a higher markup. 2. The volatility of material prices can impact costs. Fluctuations in the prices of key materials such as steel, lumber, or concrete can significantly affect project costs. Estimators should monitor market trends and adjust markups accordingly to account for potential price increases. 3. The availability of labor should be kept in mind. Shortages of skilled labor can lead to increased labor costs and project delays. Estimators should assess the local labor market and factor in potential labor cost increases when determining the markup. 4. Weather-related delays can throw things off. Projects in areas prone to inclement weather may experience delays due to rain, snow, or extreme temperatures. Estimators should consider historical weather patterns and adjust markups to account for potential weather-related disruptions. Market conditions are always important. Firstly, the overall economic climate is a broad factor. During economic downturns, competition for projects increases and contractors may need to lower their markups to win bids. In contrast, during economic booms, contractors may be able to command higher markups due to increased demand. Secondly, the local market conditions matter. Local market conditions, such as the number of contractors bidding on similar projects and the availability of funding, can also influence markup practices. Estimators should be aware of local market dynamics and adjust their markups accordingly. Thirdly, the client's budget affects things. The client's budget and expectations can also influence markup decisions. If the client has a limited budget, contractors may need to be more conservative with their markups to secure the project. When establishing a target profit margin, estimators should take the following steps. 1. The company's financial goals need to be considered. Estimators should understand their company's overall financial goals and profit targets. This will help them determine an appropriate profit margin for each project. 2. The project's strategic importance matters. Projects that are strategically important to the company, such as those that establish a presence in a new market or build a relationship with a key client, may warrant a lower profit margin. 3. The level of risk assumed will affect profit. Projects with higher levels of risk may require a higher profit margin to compensate for the potential for losses. 4. The opportunity cost should be looked at. Estimators should consider the opportunity cost of pursuing a particular project, such as the potential for other more profitable projects. This will help them determine whether the project is worth pursuing at the proposed profit margin. When it comes to transparency, estimators should do the following. Clearly identify markups in the estimate. Markups should be clearly identified as separate line items in the estimate, with a brief explanation of their purpose. Provide a breakdown of markup components. If possible, provide a breakdown of the components of the markup, such as the percentage allocated for risk, overhead, and profit. Be prepared to answer questions. Be prepared to answer questions from the client about the markups and provide further justification if necessary. Justifications need to be provided. Explain the basis for the markup. Provide a clear explanation of the factors that justify the markup, such as project complexity, risk level, and market conditions. Use data to support the justification. If possible, use data to support the justification, such as historical cost data, market research, or risk assessments. Be realistic and reasonable. Avoid exaggerating the justification or using misleading information. Competition matters. Research competitor markup practices. Investigate the markup practices of competitors to understand the prevailing market rates. Adjust markups accordingly. Adjust markups to remain competitive while still achieving the desired profit margin. Consider value-added services. Highlight any value-added services or benefits that differentiate the company from its competitors, such as superior quality, faster delivery, or specialized expertise. Ethical considerations are vital. Avoid excessive markups. Avoid excessive markups that could be considered unethical or exploitative. Be honest and transparent. Be honest and transparent in all dealings with clients, and avoid any practices that could damage the company's reputation. Focus on long-term relationships. Prioritize building long-term relationships with clients based on trust, fairness, and mutual respect. By carefully considering these factors and following these guidelines, estimators can effectively manage J/B and J/P markups to mitigate risk, ensure profitability, and maintain ethical standards in the construction industry. Let's dive deeper into specific examples and scenarios to illustrate how these principles can be applied in practice. For instance, consider a project involving the renovation of a historic building. The estimator would need to account for the following factors. Firstly, the complexity of working with historic materials and techniques would necessitate a higher markup to cover the cost of specialized labor and potential unforeseen structural issues. Secondly, the risk of encountering hidden conditions such as asbestos or lead paint would warrant a higher markup to account for potential remediation costs. Thirdly, the need to comply with strict historical preservation regulations would require a high markup to cover the cost of permits, inspections, and potential delays. In another scenario, imagine a project involving the construction of a high-rise building in a densely populated urban area. The estimator would need to consider the following factors. 1. The logistical challenges of transporting materials and equipment to a congested construction site would require a higher markup to cover the cost of traffic management, storage, and potential delays. 2. The risk of disrupting nearby businesses and residents would warrant a higher markup to account for potential noise complaints, vibration damage, and public relations issues. 3. The need to coordinate with multiple subcontractors and utilities would necessitate a higher markup to cover the cost of project management, communication, and potential conflicts. Let's consider a competitive bidding situation. Suppose the estimator is bidding on a project against several other contractors. The estimator would need to research the markup practices of their competitors to understand the prevailing market rates. If the competitors are known to bid aggressively, the estimator may need to lower their markup to remain competitive. However, the estimator should also consider the value-added services they offer, such as superior quality, faster delivery, or specialized expertise. By highlighting these benefits, the estimator can justify a slightly higher markup and still win the project. In terms of ethical considerations, imagine a situation where the estimator discovers a discrepancy in the project plans that could lead to significant cost savings. The estimator has a duty to inform the client of the discrepancy and propose a solution that benefits both parties. Avoiding excessive markups, being honest and transparent, and focusing on long-term relationships are essential for maintaining ethical standards and building trust with clients. By adopting a comprehensive and thoughtful approach to J/B and J/P markups, estimators can contribute to the success of their companies and the satisfaction of their clients. Now, let's consider how technology and software tools can assist estimators in managing J/B and J/P markups more effectively. Many estimating software programs include features that allow estimators to automatically calculate markups based on predefined formulas and project-specific factors. These tools can help estimators ensure consistency and accuracy in their markup calculations. Estimating software can also provide estimators with access to historical cost data, market research, and risk assessment tools. This information can help estimators justify the markups and make informed decisions. Furthermore, collaboration platforms can facilitate communication and collaboration among estimators, project managers, and other stakeholders. This can help ensure that all parties are aware of the markups included in the estimate and the rationale behind them. The use of technology and software tools can significantly enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of the estimating process, leading to more accurate and competitive bids. In addition to technology, continuous education and professional development are essential for estimators to stay up to date on the latest markup practices and industry trends. Estimators should attend industry conferences, workshops, and training programs to expand their knowledge and skills. They should also stay informed about changes in regulations, codes, and standards that could affect project costs and markups. By investing in their professional development, estimators can enhance their expertise and contribute to the success of their companies. Another important aspect of managing J/B and J/P markups is the development of a robust risk management plan. Estimators should identify potential risks associated with each project and develop strategies to mitigate those risks. This may involve purchasing insurance, implementing safety procedures, or developing contingency plans. By proactively managing risk, estimators can reduce the potential for cost overruns and justify low markups. In conclusion, managing J/B and J/P markups requires a combination of technical expertise, analytical skills, and ethical judgment. Estimators should carefully consider project-specific factors, market conditions, and risk levels when determining the appropriate markup for each estimate. They should also be transparent with clients, provide justifications for their markups, and adhere to ethical standards. By following these guidelines and leveraging technology and professional development resources, estimators can contribute to the profitability and success of their companies. As a final thought, remember that estimating is not an exact science. It involves making informed judgments based on available data and experience. There will always be some level of uncertainty and potential for error. However, by adopting a systematic and disciplined approach to J/B and J/P markups, estimators can minimize the risks and maximize the opportunities for success. The estimator's role is crucial in ensuring the financial viability of construction projects. A well-crafted estimate, incorporating appropriate markups, is essential for securing profitable work and maintaining the long-term health of the construction company.